Hi friends, Katie Steinberg here with you again, and I'm sharing our message from Missing Piece. This past week, we had a lot of fun playing flag football together and talking about joy. You probably know, some of you will know, that we have just entered into the liturgical season of Advent. It's just a fancy way of saying we're kind of counting down till Christmas. And we're going to be looking at joy, peace, love, and hope over the next 4 weeks. And I invite you to download the Missing Piece app if you want to get a weekly reminder of what Advent is about and maybe some surprising ways. So I will go ahead and share with you our message from this week. In the season of Advent, worshiping people all over the world will focus on some of the concepts Jesus' life on earth reminds us to emphasize. Joy, the childlike joy and trust that we are invited into with God. Peace, an assurance, an inner contentment that grows out of the trust. Love, love for each other, love for our neighbors, love for the stranger among us. And hope, the engine that allows us to continue to love and be joyful and have peace as we perpetually plant our hopes in a better world that Jesus taught about. Each week during Advent, we will light a candle that represents and reminds us of joy, peace, love, and hope. And on Christmas Eve, a candle in the center that reminds us of Jesus Christ's birth, what it's all about. As more candles are lit, our time together will grow more expectant, just as a mother preparing for birth. But today is all about joy. My guess is that all of us have a joyful memory associated with the holidays. When I was a kid, we stayed up late on Christmas Eve, waiting for Dad to get home from the 11 p.m. Christmas Eve service he led. When he finally arrived, we were allowed to open one gift. I mean, technically it was Christmas. We'd put out some cookies and milk for the fat man in red and scurry off to beds where we would barely sleep. We weren't allowed to wake Mom and Dad till 6, but we could open our stockings. For me and my brothers and sister, this was special sibling time. Each of us sharing what we found in our stockings and eating candy before the sun came up, a rare and happy kids-only moment. The hours felt like days till we were allowed to wake Mom and Dad, and they'd come out to the living room where Dad would play Santa, handing out the gifts at a pace that forced us to appreciate them and observe each other's appreciation too. Mom, still clad in her robe, would hide from the camera and try to pick up all of our shredded wrappings. And then we'd have a great big Christmas breakfast of biscuits and gravy, eggs and bacon. I can smell the bacon and taste the gravy just thinking about it. Edible joy. At Missing Piece last Sunday, we took this opportunity for each of us to share a little bit about the joy of our holiday memories. And I can't help but think that if everyone had this much joy, the world would be a much better place. Look, the world gives us plenty to be afraid of and worried about. But our Creator, our God, invites us into a joy that hopes and trusts in a better world. Not ignoring or becoming passive in the world as we know it, but thinking it's just going to happen one day, joyfully working toward this better world, spreading hope and living it out in what we say and what we do. I found a poem recently that I thought beautifully captured this idea, the journey to live it out. It's called The Map You Make Yourself. You have looked at so many doors with longing, wondering if your life lay on the other side. For today, choose the door that opens to the inside. Travel the most ancient way of all, the path that leads you to the center of your life. No map, but the one you make yourself. No provision, but what you already carry, and the grace that comes to those who walk the pilgrim's way. Speak this blessing as you set out and watch how your rhythm slows, the cadence of the road drawing you into the pace that is your own. Eat when hungry, rest when tired. Listen to your dreaming. Welcome detours as doors deeper in. Pray for protection. Ask for guidance. Offer gladness for the gifts that come, and then let them go. Do not expect to return by the same road. Home is always by another way, and you will know it not by the light that waits for you, but by the star that blazes inside you, telling you where you are is holy, and you are welcome here. In the Christian tradition, this season's about following a star, miraculous announcements to unexpected people, and about a God who loves you so much that he would take the most vulnerable form of a baby in order to enter this world in tangible ways. Now, whether you believe this is literal or just a story or anywhere in between, you're invited into this journey of joy, peace, love, and hope. This journey into the map you make yourself. A journey we can walk together, learning and growing in hopeful expectancy of a God who is mighty enough to create the world and loving enough to give it to us, no strings attached. So after that message together, we strapped on some flags and ran around experiencing some of the childlike joy that comes from playing sports together, playing football together. We've also done kickball together and volleyball together because we know that our physicality is an integral part of who we are and therefore worthy of exploring in a spiritual way. As always, we invite you to join us at Missing Piece some week. You can find our events on our Facebook page, our website, ormansmissingpiece.com, or you can download the Missing Piece app. And if you do, over the next 4 weeks of Advent, you'll be receiving an Advent meditation to keep us focused on what's important about this season, because we know it's not just the gifts and the excitement, but also time together and a continuation of the deep journey that we all follow in the map we make ourselves. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.